Okay. You can start?
Yeah, I'll start. I want to start with Stuart Dallas. He had a successful surgery. It was a long surgery, 5.5 hours, but they believe that the outcome was very positive, and they say it'll be a long recovery, but they believe that he will have a full recovery. He has had something like 400, 500 messages from fans, family, and friends. We know that he's loved, and I think that this moment proved it more than anything. I don't want to speak for Stuart, but I've heard he's been very appreciative of so many people reaching out and extending their concerns and their love toward him. So we all hope the absolute best for Stuart, and we hope that he is soon pain-free and back here in the training center so that we can really start his recovery. And then on the other injury front, Patrick has been on the pitch, so we remain cautiously optimistic with that. And Tyler, Adam, and Cree are all moving in the right direction. Liam Cooper trained today, Diego trained today, so we should have, other than those 4-5 guys, we should have our full complement of players.
Chris?
Hi, Jesse. First off, then, about Stuart Dallas. When you say long recovery, are we talking a year, 18 months, that kind of duration? And also, how much of what he's going through, is that going to be an incentive for the other lads here to make sure that when he does come back, you're still a Premier League club?
Yeah, I think we can safely say it'll be 6 months, but it could be longer, and I don't think anyone wants to rush him. I think it just the bone has to heal, and then they have to look at all the things like the articular cartilage and the meniscus, and which everything seems to be relatively intact. The ACL's intact, so I'm not a doctor, but a lot of the main structure of the knee is in place, and then it's just got to heal a little bit over time and then see how it reacts to more and more. And then, we all know Stuart's such a big part of the group. He's such a fantastic person and player. I think he had the current ongoing record for most consecutive matches. So he's also an Ironman, and which is I think it's motivation for us, but more importantly, I think it's an indicator for the fact that Stuart will be back and stronger than ever.
And when you say that you're cautiously optimistic about Patrick Bamford, is that optimistic he'll play a part before the end of this season?
Yeah, I think so. I watched him on the pitch a bit today. He was moving really well, doing a lot of ball work, relatively active and dynamic, and so I think, we still have 2.5 weeks, and we'll go step by step, but hopeful that we can get him into training by next week.
The Southampton manager has come out today and said that he doesn't think 40 points will be enough to stay in the Premier League necessarily. That's what they're on at the moment. If that's the case, it's not just 3 of you in the scrap. How many of you do you think are in the scrap?
I have no idea what it'll take. I have no idea. I've been asked this many times. All I care about is focusing on each match, and right now that's squarely on Arsenal.
I was talking to, I don't want to name drop, but I was talking to the Burnley manager the other day about the way that their games are falling by and large ahead of everybody else's, and sort of drawing a comparison. We're in Yorkshire, so I'll mention cricket, baseball, if you like, for you. It's like they're going into bat first and then saying, catch us. Is that the way that you look upon it? Do you think there is any advantage or disadvantage to playing first or second?
No, I don't. I think, I guess the advantage is if you get the result, then it puts a little pressure on the teams that have to play after you. But we haven't even, going into the last match, I don't think we even knew what the results were going in. And then if you lose, it can be a disadvantage. So the key is to, again, try to do everything you can to control your own results. That's my strategy in this whole process.
Everton will be playing at the same time as you on Sunday, so in terms of controlling your results, will you want to know what's happening there? And for instance, say if you're drawing down at Arsenal or winning at Arsenal with 5 minutes to go, and you know that Everton aren't, do you think, right, we hold on to what we've got, we stick on an extra defender, or if they're winning and you're not, on goes another striker? Or
not right now. There's still too many games left. I think when you get down to the last two, you have to know a little bit what are happening with the other results, specifically the last one, if it's tight. But right now, it's the best thing we can do is pick up points.
Jesse, Liam Cooper, are you ruling him out for this weekend, or is he still?
No. I actually think Liam will play. So he was fully in training today and felt good, and so I think he'll be available.
Great, and it was a knee issue for him. Was that right?
They call it the fat pad, which I don't know what that means. But it's not a muscle; it's something in his knee that is like a lubricant. But he's feeling good.
On the Stuart Dallas issue, his amount of tackles is enormous. Successful tackles, one of the highest in the division, and interceptions. Losing that now for these 4 games and obviously beyond, what's your sort of plan to sort of compensate for that? Is there someone that can compensate for that, or is it more of a collective thing?
Yeah, I think we have players that can play the positions that Stuart's played and play them well. And quite honestly, in the moment, I'm thinking more about Stuart than I am about, what it would be like to replace him, because I trust our team and our roster and all our players, and I want Stuart to be healthy and pain-free and back here with us and on the road to recovery. That's my main focus with Stuart.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, there's no natural replacement for him right now, is it? It's going to have to be a sort of rethink of how you do things.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We even before Liam had to withdraw from the match, we were going to play with him as a 6 against Man City. So, I mean, his flexibility is it's not just his quality; it's his flexibility that's helpful. But again, I think we have enough to cover him as well.
Going into the Arsenal game, you were surprised last week with the way you set up. What's the sort of attitude? Is it to go and try and win the game, or is it trying to contain maybe?
Yeah, it's to try to win the game for sure. I think we respect Arsenal a lot. They have a lot of quality players, and they've developed a lot over the past few years with Arteta, and we know that we've already gone over a lot of what we want the game to look like and what their strengths are, and so we know it's a good team, and it's a version of Man City. They like to spread the field. They like to play with combinations. They're a very good passing team. They have very good movement. So our ability to limit that, and then our ability still to command the game with the ball and be good in possession, and then be good in transition phases. So one thing that was also disappointing in the Man City game is, we've been relatively stable in defensive set pieces, and then we give up 2. So we talked through that a little bit today and worked on it again on the pitch, but I expect us to be better with that in the next 4 games.
And how have you sort of kept the confidence up then, Jesse? Because the top sides this season Leeds have struggled against. I think it's been 10 games with the so-called top sides that we haven't won.
Yeah, I think our group has a very strong belief in themselves, and since I've been here, we've tried to ease the pressure of every moment and enjoy the process more, and still then be ready to go out and compete for everything on match day and execute a match plan that gives us a chance to pick up points. In many ways, even with the Man City game, I was very pleased with that process and the way we played. But, against the best opponents, you have to be really, really good on the day. You have to, the margin of error is so thin, and we have to find a way to be razor sharp. So that'll again be the emphasis going into this game against Arsenal.
And finally, Mikel has signed a new contract, we understand today. How much do you think he's improved?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been able to follow him a lot, but I certainly, as a player, watched him, and he was a great player, and I think he's transitioned into a very good manager. And watching his team play, I can see they're intelligent and they have a plan, and so I think that comes down to the way that he's been coaching them. So, I think it's always, when you're in this business, you always like to hear when a manager gets a vote of confidence from the organization, and normally that's in the only way to do that is to give a contract. So yeah, good for him. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Afternoon, Jesse. How much are you've been here a little while? How much are you enjoying the challenge that is facing you at the moment, and how much have you settled in here?
Yeah, my family's been here. We still are in temporary housing, so we haven't moved into our permanent housing yet. However, we will be doing that in the next couple of weeks. And I can only speak about the positivity that I've felt in this community, starting at Ellen Road. The way our fans treated us after the match against Man City is I've never seen in football. And the positivity we need right now. We need to be so aligned, and I can say that the singular focus here at Thorpe Arch is that everybody's doing everything they can to make sure that we control our destiny, and we need all the positivity from our fans like we saw at Ellen Road. And I felt that in the community too, whether it's there have been people that recognize me and come up and then support me and say how happy they are with the team and how excited they are for the future. And then there's people that have no idea who I am, which I prefer more. And then we have a really nice exchange, whether it's at a coffee shop or the friendliness and kindness is amazing. So I've said it from day one that I've loved being here. I hope to make this my home for many years. And I love the club. I love the team. I love the area. We're really enjoying ourselves. So, and that gives me more, motivation and desire to do whatever it takes to help this team achieve.
And in terms of, from a personal point of view, how much of an achievement would it be for you to keep this club in the Premier League and lead them in the Premier League next season in terms of your own achievement?
Well, I think it's all about the team, right? However, I knew when I came early, it was an opportunity to evaluate everything for how to help it move forward, not just to take over from the summer and try to do that. So I think that part has been great. I've gotten to know the people here that work around the team, that support the team. I've gotten to know the players. I've gotten to know the academy. And so now I have a really good feel for everything that's going on here and how we can move forward. But again, this is all about achieving our goal. So that's what every day is right now.
And just finally, in terms of Stuart's injury, losing a player like Stuart at any time is hard. But the timing of it with what's at stake couldn't have been worse, could it?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's you don't want anyone to have a big injury like that at any time. So football is football and life is something else. And so for me, it's in that moment, we all just want to support Stuart. And as a team, this is bigger than any one man. That's just the way that it has to be. But we obviously all think about Stuart a lot and just want him and his family. We want him to be healthy. We want him to be strong. We want him to be back living his life, and we want to support him in that process. And that's how that works for me. So, yeah, we will miss him, but we're thinking about him.
Thank you.
Yep.
Best of luck. Great.
Thank you.
Has the lack of a natural centre forward been costly in terms of creating chances at times this season?
Yeah, I think probably so. It's obviously, we've asked Dan James to play a lot in that position, and I know that it's not ideal. We will still probably need him at times to play there, and I think that he's developed more flexibility in his game over the past couple of years because he's been asked to do different things and play different roles. And if we can get Patrick back and sharp and fit, that will be helpful for sure. And then, I've always been thinking about how to use Jaffe more and more. And we've used Rodrigo sometimes at that position, but I think he's more like a false 9 or a 10, or he operates better when there's another striker there with him. So, hasn't always been perfect in terms of trying to get the most out of every game plan, but the guys have given everything no matter what role's been asked of them. That's for sure.
Is there a risk-reward balancing act with Bamford and other players who get niggles, I suppose, at this stage? Given there's only 4 games left, they're also important. Do you take maybe a little more risk?
It depends on the situation, right? I mean, especially with a 3-day week coming, we can't be going into the 3rd game on fumes and not having enough players, healthy bodies. So we have to think about how to rotate through the week the right way and how to use guys the right way so that we get the most out of every game, but also have as many fresh legs and ready legs on the pitch for each match. So, right now we're focused on Arsenal and what that'll take, and then we'll have to transition quickly into Chelsea.
Thanks.
Yep.
Also went in with the back 5 last weekend, coming into an Arsenal game, which is your second match against the traditional Big Six side. This time you're now away from home. Is there a temptation to keep with that and that solidity with a back 5 unit?
My goal from the beginning has to have flexibility with positional players playing different positions and formations and everything. And we've gotten better and better with understanding principles, so then we can apply it to tactics a little bit more. each opponent is a little bit different, and then requires something different against the ball, with the ball, the whole bit. So we're building. The good news is we're at a point where we're clear, and we can use tactics and formations, I think, to manipulate opponents and match plans a little bit more. So, and the key will be that the players are clear when they step on the pitch and that they can play their best. So I feel like we're getting there, and it'll be a test for that again on Sunday.
Having not scored against Crystal Palace or Man City, what do you want to see different from your attack going to this weekend? What are you looking to work on?
Yeah, well, in Man City, I felt like we lacked a little bit of poise when we won the ball. In build-up phase, we were quite good, right? And we were able to move the ball around and manipulate the opponent and make them defend at certain moments. But a lot of times when we won balls in transition, we gave it back and maybe rushed actions a little bit. So for me, the key is to understand what moments that we need to be very vertical and attack immediately, and what moments we need to have a little bit more patience to control the game a little bit more with possession. So, yeah, we're still working on that. That's what I think I said one press conference, the 100 to 70 message. So we're continuing to work with our ability to slow ourselves down, and especially in attacking moments, and finish off plays.
Are you seeing confidence in the players, or are you seeing tension at the moment? And how do you stop anxiety kind of dominating this week?
I think it's normal after results and maybe things going for us or against us to have emotions attached with what's happening. But by the time we get to work and get on the pitch and start talking about what we want the weekend to look like or the next match, there's clarity and there's not a lot of tension at that point. So it's normal, I think, for everybody to have emotional responses to different results that don't go our way or do go our way. But again, I think the work and the focus on the work here has been phenomenal, and it's been a real strength of ours so far.
Okay.
Yep.
Jesse, how hard is it to shut out the outside noise? Because your form has been good, yet Burnley have got above you, Everton have closed right up on you. Almost like Lazarus-like might have come back, but so how to stop sort of being distracted with what they're doing and keep focusing on what
well, that's what it is. It's to eliminate the emotion and continue to focus on our ability and discipline to have concentration for what's important to us. I know, I don't know, maybe I know that of course from a media perspective that people like to write about the emotion of football and what's happening and the momentum here or this or that or what people are saying. When you're in this business for a long time, you know that the job is about preparing to perform, and the focus and the ability to do that, and to eliminate the things such as media that get in the way of now us doing our job. But we have a lot of good pros here. We understand that. That is clearly my approach to every day, and I think that the players respond to that, and they understand it. So, yeah.
Okay, we're going to go to Sunday embargo, so if you guys can switch off.